16 years ago, some very smart people made a good decision. They said, we need to go after foreign car companies. And we need to get them to come to the state of Alabama. We need to show them that we can make their cars here, that we can provide a good business climate and a good standard of living. And that's graduated pretty well, didn't it? We got, in my district in Vance, we got the Mercedes plant from the Germans. We got a plant from the Japanese up in East Alabama a few years ago. We got the Hyundai plant that is the biggest foreign automobile manufacturer in North America right here in South Montgomery County, where there used to be a cow patch. It's graduated pretty well. Here's the problem. The nature of the global economy has changed. Even the foreign automobile manufacturers, or they're beating the daylights out of Detroit, they're still struggling economically. Manufacturing jobs are eroding everywhere. So we've got to find a new trick. We've got to find a new strategy for a new economy. We've got to say, is there something that we can learn to build or produce or make in Alabama today that we haven't done so well in the past? I'll give you one possibility. Right now, in this state, we have an opportunity to become a leader in alternative energy. Hoover, Alabama is right outside my district. It's the 5th biggest city in Alabama, but the 2nd biggest city in Jefferson County. It's where the Galleria is located. The municipal cars in Hoover are powered by a substance that is 85% wood-based ethanol. You know where they get the wood from? Livingston, Alabama, Sumter County. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the wave of the future. Do you know, by the way, why we didn't get the Volkswagen plant several years ago? Remember when when our state and North Alabama were battling to get the Volkswagen plant, and everybody thought we were going to win it because we got pretty good at getting these foreign car plants here, and Tennessee beat us at the last minute. And we hadn't lost to Tennessee in a while in anything. Governor of Tennessee gave a speech and he said, well, here's how we did it. In the state of Tennessee, we have made a commitment to renewable sources of energy. We've made a commitment to alternative sources of energy. The Germans have figured out that whether we like it or don't like it, whether we're for it or against it, our policies on how we regulate greenhouse gas emissions are going to change. They're going to get stricter. And the Germans decided Tennessee is making a major commitment to explore renewable sources of energy, to invest in them, to capitalize in them, and we think that will give us an economic edge Alabama could provide. So they won, and we didn't win. We lost. They scored in the 2-minute offense. We threw an interception. Give you another possibility. Right now, as we speak, in Huntsville, Alabama, you've heard about the missiles that are built there. You've heard about the work on missile defense that goes on, and it's important work. You know about BRAC and the realignment under BRAC that's going to cause Huntsville's population to surge. You know about those things. Here's what you may not know about. There's a little corner off a new exit in Huntsville where Hudson Alpha is located. As we speak, a research facility in northeast Alabama is doing cutting-edge work on the flu virus, on blood-related ailments from AIDS to kidney disease to heart disease. Right now at UAB, University of Alabama in Birmingham, a college that frankly didn't even have a major identity outside Jefferson County until about 10 or 15 years ago. Some of the cutting-edge work in the field of biomedicine is happening right on the edge of downtown Birmingham. And it is not inconceivable, ladies and gentlemen, that the cure for AIDS or an important breakthrough on cancer research will happen not in some laboratory in Tokyo or London or Paris or Madrid, but in Birmingham, Alabama, or Huntsville, Alabama. We may win championships in the next 15 years that have nothing to do with Heisman trophies and BCS rankings. So, if I could pull all of this together, here's what I would say. We have the capacity, ladies and gentlemen, to literally change the future of our state. We can say that we're not afraid of a new 21st century economy. We can say that we understand that the best way to produce revenues for this economy is not to raise taxes, but to grow jobs. We can say that we will not be afraid of the future. We will learn to master it. All of those things can happen in our time. And I will say to you, ladies and gentlemen, what I have said to so many people in this state. We cannot change the history that our fathers wrote, but we can change the history that our children will read. Last few minutes I'm up here. I want you to understand that any governor's campaign is a conversation about just how bold our vision can be, ladies and gentlemen. When I was a child, I used to love to come to downtown Montgomery. I used to love to go to the old Pizziz building. And you know what fascinated me? I used to love to look out at that skyline that stretches beyond the Alabama River. And from the perspective of a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old, I would say it looks like you could drive forever and never get to the end of that horizon. Now eventually I got older. And one day I realized I wasn't anything but prideful out there. But this is how I think about leadership. What a leader does. A leader looks at problems that appear to be intractable. A leader looks at solutions that appear to be off in the distance. A leader looks at a future that appears to be beyond our reach. And a true leader, the kind of governor that we desperately need, says, we can get there. It may seem to be light years away, but we can get there, not at some distant point called someday, but right now. How many times, ladies and gentlemen, do we hang on the word someday? How many times do the forces of the status quo and the forces of the entrenched interests who dominate this capital city, how often do they say, oh, this will happen, but it will be someday? What they really mean is they don't intend to go anywhere. What they really mean is they want the decisions that shape the state of Alabama to be made around a table about that size with only about 3 or 4 seats around it. As long as they got one of the seats, they're perfectly happy. What I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to open up this process so that decisions in this state are made around the table a lot bigger than this table. And there are more seats around the table. And the sunshine shines in the room when the windows aren't closed and the doors aren't closed, and there's transparency, and there's accountability. And my last 10 seconds. I'm running because I know how to lead. I know how to bring people together. Because all of us have ideas. Every one of us running has ideas. Question is, who can make us change the way we see this state? Who can give us a sense of purpose? Who can call us to climb the mountain and move across that horizon?